try. Do you want me to spell my name again too?
No, I can find it online. It's
Okay.
no big deal. It's just a little formality thing.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, so you were talking about promotions.
Mm-hmm.
And the story that I'm planning on doing is student attendance at
Right.
games.
Right.
We all know it can be better.
Yes.
And this year, more than any other year, I feel like there have been a lot of promotions and a lot of giveaways. Is
Right.
there a reason for that?
Actually, there is. Our president, I can't even talk, Andrew Benton, has been kind enough to give money specifically to the athletics department to be used to draw fans, exclusively students, to all of our games, most of which we concentrate on men's basketball and also women's basketball. And so we use that money in conjunction with some of our corporate sponsors to do food at every game and a giveaway at every game, with the idea that that will draw attendance, again, mostly from the student population.
And has that been successful this year at all?
It has. Actually, if you look to the years where we didn't do this, where we didn't do promotions, both free food and free giveaways, we actually had far fewer students in the stands, especially at men's basketball. So it has worked.
Okay. And then I know of one instance with the Snuggie game
Mm-hmm.
for women's basketball.
Right.
From what I heard, I wasn't there. Pretty much everyone came to get a Snuggie, and then when they got it at halftime, everyone left.
That's why normally we do a pre-game giveaway and post-game food, so that despite what's going on the court, in most cases the food will keep people around. At that particular game, unfortunately, we were playing the #1 school in the conference, Gonzaga, and by halftime the score was there was quite a wide margin, and so I think a lot of the students chose to take the Snuggie and leave, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's just too bad. Do you think that it's kind of odd that we need to have all these giveaways to get kids to come? I know that there's like a lot of schools around the country where basketball is like their main sport. They don't have football. Like Gonzaga, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that they need a giveaway to get kids to come to the games. Like, 'cause
that's true. I'd say it's an interesting question. I think where we are, there's a different culture. I think there's a lot going on both on campus and in the Los Angeles area that distracts kids from coming to games. And so I think while that's part of it, it's also no secret that we've had a few years where our basketball team, in comparison to, as you mentioned, Gonzaga, we haven't really been at that level. I do think that as our team gets better, student attendance will increase, just for the fact that we'll be playing at a higher level and being competitive in more of the games. That being said, again, there's a lot of distractions and there's a lot of other opportunities on campus that we try really hard to work with other groups on campus to make sure that we don't have other things going on, especially during men's basketball games, to try to make a focus for the student population to be more interested and concentrated on coming to the games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with students that I talked to, they said that they think that people don't come to games because Pepperdine just has so much stuff for students to do that they just don't have enough time to come to like a basketball game.
It's true. I would say, drawing on my experience when I was a student here, while there were other opportunities, I remember that men's basketball in particular, you just went. So whether or not you were a fan, you were going to be with your friends who maybe were fans. It was kind of the snowball effect. And everybody was at all of the games. They were crowded, and no matter if you were part of the Greek system, if you were part of a different club, it didn't matter. You were all in the stands for the basketball game. It was very much a social experience, as well as cheering on the team as well. So I think seeing how the fans are and seeing who's showing up at the games, I'd say that's definitely changed in the past 10 years. So we're trying to figure out the best ways to change it back.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what kind of say you have in this, but for women's basketball, I know a lot of their games, at least on the weekends, are in the afternoon. I went last week.
Right.
I think it was me and like one other person aside from
Yeah, basically our women's games, unless they're dictated by television, on Thursdays they're going to be at 7 o'clock, and on Saturdays they're going to be at 2 o'clock, and that's conference-wide.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
That just seems like such a shame to me, because, like, we live in Malibu, and,
Right.
like, you can go to the beach at 2 o'clock, but you can come back for the... Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, that's just my little input. So what kind of other stuff do you guys have planned, maybe not so much this year, but next year, to try and get more kids to come? Because I know that they're talking about remodeling, the renovations for the school, and perhaps redoing the field house.
Well, the Campus Life Project, which will be announced publicly this spring, the fundraising campaign for it, I should say. Right now it's in the permitting phase, so while we have plans to move forward with the university has plans to move forward with it, obviously there's a lot of hurdles that we have to jump through for permitting. But what would actually happen is they would build a new university events center up where the row parking lot is. So actually that would become the new home of Pepperdine Athletics, with a new events arena where we would play sports. And then the Firestone Fieldhouse would eventually be renovated to be a recreation center.
Oh, very cool.
Just for your notes, I don't know. You might want to check to see if we can talk about that or not.
Oh, well.
I mean, I don't think it's too much of a secret because we had the public hearing, but...
Yeah, I know that the neighborhood across the street's, like, griping about it, and
Yeah.
you kind of touched on that a little bit on the news show, but...
Okay, then yeah, I guess we're fine.
Yeah, but I'm graduating in April, so I'm not going to see it. So, it's cool. How much do you guys spend on promotions, or is it relatively cheap because you have so many sponsors?
You know what, it's one of those things that sometimes we're able to get a discount because it's with a sponsor. For instance, a lot of the mom and pop places in Malibu, if we buy a certain number of something, they'll give us a full discount, or they'll throw in, 25% on top of what we're paying for. But basically, like I said, we budget a certain amount of money that's just going towards promotions. And again, it's concentrated on the student population. So it's basically money that's earmarked for nothing other than doing special things for the students and getting them to the games.
Mm-hmm. And then this Gonzaga game on Saturday, I know it's like the big game we have every year.
Right.
We have like the tailgating with the food and the face painting,
Right.
and the T-shirts. How come we don't do that for every game? Or would you like to?
Oh, we'd love to do that for every game. These are all things that, again, staffing-wise and money-wise in our department, we're not able to focus that much attention to every game. We would invite, and we always invite, other student organizations to come down and use our event as a jumping-off point for them to do some sort of activity. Sadly, very few organizations take us up on that offer. The other game that I think we're trying to put more focus on is our annual rivalry game with LMU. The women actually play at home on Saturday the 19th against the LMU Lions, and we're also doing a giveaway at that game, and we'll have free food at that game, and that's at 2 p.m. on Saturday the 19th. But again, that's part of the PCH Cup rivalry, and we'd love to have students come to that game as well. But Gonzaga, as long as they've been competitive, I'd say both that game and the LMU game have been kind of the top draws for students, and kind of the one that you're supposed to go to.
Yeah, because I went to the LMU game when the men played them.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of kids there, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, people actually come. That's cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for Gonzaga on Saturday. Like, I grew up in Washington, so I've known about them for the better part of a decade.
Right.
Don't really like them so much. But yeah, if you have anything else, like words that the students need to hear to get to the games.
I would just say that we have, besides men's and women's basketball, we have plenty of other events. We have baseball season coming up. Men's volleyball season is in full swing right now. We also have tennis. Both of our tennis teams, men's and women's, are ranked this year. I'd say for students, a lot of these games are, these are their classmates, these are their dorm mates, these are it's their athletic department as much as it's mine, and we'd love to have anybody's support, and hopefully that they can take the time out of their busy schedules and come to a game. Honestly, it does make a difference when we have students in the stands, and I'd say Firestone Fieldhouse used to be known as one of the more difficult places for teams to play because we had such a raucous group of students being really excited to cheer on our team, and I'd love to see us get back to that place. So hopefully we can start, actually tonight we play Portland at 7 o'clock, and then as everybody knows, hopefully we play Gonzaga on Saturday at 7 o'clock, and then I'd say for any time past that, just go to our website, www.pepperdinesports.com. We have up-to-minute schedules, stories, features, video. You can also watch when our teams are away. You can watch the game tracker and see what's going on, or you can become a fan of us on Facebook, and then through those channels and many more, you should be able to know when things are going on campus down here in the athletics department.
All right. Very cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.